Most tanks rumble. The Abrams whistles. And that's because the heart of America's main battle tank is not a conventional piston engine. It is the Honeywell AGT1500 gas turbine. This decision, made during the height of the Cold War, gave the Abrams a character unlike anything else. It promised speed, silence, and unmatched power. But as any engineer will tell you, every breakthrough comes with a price. On paper, the turbine was a stroke of genius. It produced 1,500 horsepower from a package that weighed nearly a ton less than the diesel engines of the 1970s. That weight saving wasn't just for speed. It allowed designers to pour more armor into the turret. But the real magic was in the performance. The AGT1500 is incredibly smooth, with almost zero vibration. This isn't just about crew comfort. It provides a more stable platform for sensitive optics and fire control systems. Then, there is the whispering death factor. Because most of the turbine's noise is directed out the rear exhaust, an Abrams approaching from the front is surprisingly quiet. In a tactical environment, you might not hear it until it's far too late. And finally, cold starts. While diesel crews in Europe were struggling with heaters and glowing plugs at -30 degrees Celsius, the Abrams turbine could be at full power in under a minute. However, the turbine's greatest strength is also its most debated weakness: its thirst. The Abrams developed a reputation for inhaling fuel. The physics are simple. A gas turbine is a high-speed air pump. Even at idle, it continues to consume nearly 10 gallons of fuel per hour. It doesn't matter if the tank is charging at 45 miles per hour or sitting in an ambush. The meter is always running. This created a logistical tale so massive it redefined U.S. Army doctrine. To keep a brigade of Abrams moving, you need a river of fuel following them. It's the reason why modern versions are now fitted with an auxiliary power unit, APU, a smaller donkey engine that runs the electronics so the main turbine can finally be turned off. Then there are the environmental trade-offs. A turbine breathes massive volumes of air. In the deserts of Iraq, this meant the Abrams was essentially a 60-ton vacuum cleaner. If the complex self-cleaning filtration system failed, the fine sand would glass the turbine blades, leading to catastrophic engine failure in minutes. And we cannot ignore the thermal signature. The exhaust gas exits the rear at over 900 degrees Fahrenheit, 480 degrees Celsius. In the modern era of thermal sights, loitering munitions, and FPV drones, that heat plume is a massive infrared beacon. You can't hide a jet engine from a thermal seeker. So, was it worth it? In the 1980s, the turbine was a visionary choice. It gave the U.S. a technological edge in a high-intensity conflict where mobility and rapid deployment were everything. It made the Abrams the most agile heavy tank in history. But as warfare evolves toward long-term endurance, drone-heavy battlefields, and extreme fuel efficiency, the turbine's flaws become harder to ignore. Even the U.S. Army is looking at the Abrams X, a hybrid electric future that may finally signal the end of the pure turbine era. What do you think? Was the turbine the right bet for the Cold War, or should the U.S. have followed the Leopard's lead with a heavy-duty diesel? Let me know in the comments.